We were like family. Everybody on the block, you know. Children, I had children, there were children my kids' ages, and they all went to the same school.
The first thing that comes to mind when I think about growing up in the 1950s and the various ethnicities is the movie from the 1950s called Marty with Ernest Borgnine. Marty played a butcher of Italian descent, and he also, as is depicted in the very first scene, is a very, very proud man. He's proud of his job and proud of what he does.
I know growing up, my parents always used to tell me stories how they grew up in neighborhoods specifically with Irish and Jewish and Italian people.
In the 60s and 70s especially, it was a simpler time. The immigrants were more of the established immigrants who came here a lot long ago, Irish, Italians, and it was different. It was predominantly white, Caucasian.
As the years went on and I became a married woman, I moved in the 1980s to the Sheepshead Bay area of Brooklyn, which also had predominantly Italian, Jewish, and Irish people.
I've lived here for 18 years now, and well, we live right near Brighton Beach, so that's like mini Russia for them. When you go in there, there's not like one English-speaking soul.
Began like with back in middle school and stuff. After school, we'd go to Prospect Park and Park Slope and go to a game, pick up football, and
I didn't speak a word of English, and I met this girl, Valerie. She was she still is African American. And even though I didn't speak any English, she still sat with me in gym class. She still tried to communicate with me whichever way she could, even though I didn't speak English and she didn't speak Russian clearly, but she made an effort to be my friend. So I thought that was great. Not a lot of people wanted to speak to me. I didn't speak any English. I couldn't say anything to them, but it didn't bother her. So to me, Brooklyn is like a little melting pot, and I think it's great. And I've had only positive experiences. So.
After that, we'd go over somebody's house, and there's black kids, white kids, Asians, Hispanics. We just all just hang out together.
And now today, as I grew up in Brooklyn, even just on my block, there were Pakistanis and Russians and Asians and African Americans, and you could really see how the neighborhoods changed over time and brought in more people from more different countries.
In Brooklyn, especially Sheepshead Bay, everybody sticks with everybody. When people I chill with are Arab, Italian, Irish, so it's like you have a mix. So you're good, you're chilling. She was over in the projects, so the projects was, even now the projects becoming more diverse. There's Russians, Chinese people moving into the projects. Back then it was all black, there was more hanging out outside than there is now. Now nobody come outside for nothing. It's boring in Sheepshead Bay. But even when I started going out and being able to chill by myself, there was a lot of people outside. And then a lot of people were outside and mingling. If you want to eliminate racism, that's how you're gonna do it. You gotta be with a bunch of diverse people.
And yet we were like family. We were like family. Everybody on the block, Children, I had children, there were children my kids' ages, and they all went to the same school.